This comes from Terry Stevens in Middletown, Ohio. Hey, Mary Kay, I swore after the last 2 years to never again buy into the offseason hype about the Browns, but it seems to me that they have done a lot of good things with the roster, especially pertaining to depth. Talk me off the ledge. Is this defense good enough to compete against the powerful clubs in the AFC and the Browns' own division?
Well, let me just speak about the whole team first before the defense. I mean, I think the reason why people can buy in this season is because Deshaun Watson's about to play 17 games this coming season. And that makes a huge difference. When you have a quarterback like that, it changes everything. People keep thinking, oh, well, why should the Browns be any good this year when they were 7-10 last year? Because Deshaun Watson is going to be starting fresh, not leaving the team for 11 games, not serving an 11-game suspension, not going through everything that he went through last year. So, I think he's going to hit the ground running. I think he's going to be ready. I think the Browns are going to be ready to help him get off to a strong start. So that's the first and foremost reason why people should probably go ahead and get excited about this football team. But then defensively, I think it is going to be a little bit of a work in progress. I can't honestly say that I think they're going to be playing great team defense right from the start and that they're going to be a juggernaut and that they're going to remind us exactly of those great Pittsburgh Steelers defenses. I can't say that. I don't know that. I think there are still a lot of question marks on this defense. I really do. There are some areas that we know are solid and strong. But there are still some that we don't know enough about. I still think they need another good, solid defensive tackle. I still think they need another edge rusher, maybe even another number 3 edge rusher while Alex Wright learns his craft. They have to hope that all of their linebackers really are, in fact, healthy enough to start the season and make a big, huge contribution. And then in the secondary, there are some of those issues. You got to integrate Juan Thornhill into the program. You've got to, make sure that you figure out a way to use all the cornerbacks in the right way. Jim Schwartz is implementing new terminology, new scheme, right? So I don't necessarily, I can't promise anybody that it's going to look like clockwork in the first 4 games of the season. I think it might take a little while.
Yeah, I think, you hit the nail on the head there with the Deshaun thing. Like, you hopefully have a quarterback who can go toe to toe with any other quarterback. And that's what matters, especially with the way the AFC is stacked. And if you get to the playoffs, you got to go through some combination of Joe Burrow and Patrick Mahomes and Josh Allen and Justin Herbert and, Trevor Lawrence is certainly, on the up and up. I just think there's the fact that you have a quarterback is the game changer in all of this. And it's what you lacked in all those other off seasons when fans wanted to hang the off-season champion banners. The fact that all of this is kind of being built around a quarterback, the only thing that has to happen is that quarterback needs to look like he did 2 years ago. So that's where the hope is. And if that happens, then you certainly have a chance. We don't need to pull you off the ledge. You should be excited about this team if Deshaun Watson looks like Deshaun Watson again.
And, it's hard for me to believe that he's not that quarterback anymore. Like, what could have possibly happened in those 2 years, except for all of the off the field stuff? And if that has impacted him so much that he's not the player that he was before, if not for that, he should still be that player. And they have seen it. They have seen flashes of it. I've asked Kevin Stefanski this numerous times. What makes you believe that he's that guy? And he said, because I've seen it. I've seen it. They've seen it, in Washington this year. They've seen other flashes of it. And, this was when they didn't really have their mojo down. They didn't have an offense that was completely 100% tailored to him. They didn't have the that learning curve with him where they knew what to throw out of the playbook and what to keep in the playbook and all that stuff. So, I think they'll have that this year. And I think he'll continue to work hard with his receivers throughout the whole entire offseason. He's been doing that in Houston already this whole offseason. And I think that those guys are going to be, ready to roll. And it should look a lot better.
Okay, there we go. Our Hey Mary Kay edition of the Orange and Brown Talk podcast. Those questions, like I said, came from our Football Insider subscribers. One more time, cleveland.com/Browns, the blue banner at the top of the page to get info on that and get yourself signed up. And also, just make sure you're subscribed to our podcast wherever you listen to your podcast. On Apple Podcasts, leave us a 5-star review. Say nice things about us. We always love that. And also on Spotify. Mary Kay, I'll talk to you later.
Sounds great.